Good morning, good day, good afternoon. How are you? It's MJ. So yesterday was kind of a big day. There was like huge waves and storms being processed yesterday. And I've woken up with some fire in my belly. A lot to do with your guys' love and support. And I gotta say, I just love how like truly awakened people just hold space for one another. And like, it's like you make me feel like it's totally okay to feel what I feel. And interestingly enough, I've woken up with just a couple comments from men, no less. One is basically defending themselves and saying that men's rejection is protection. And that's kind of what I'm wanting to highlight is that hey, Sergio, if you're running away from a woman and rejecting her, like as a conscious man, the least you could do is explain yourself. And if you're hurting, you could tell her it's about protection or that you're protecting your heart rather than just like running away, not communicating, and then all of us kind of like rejecting one another when actually the rejection is of course some deeper layer of protection. And here's the thing with these comments, it's like, yeah, I'm aware. And if you can watch the whole thing, you'd watch that at the end of the video. I'm like, I love conscious men. I love the fact that men are getting married. Ah! Sergio, I'll be there. Congratulations, my man. Well done, you. See, this is the thing, you guys, is like, it's amazing to me how quickly, and then I have another comment, which also kind of I'm just sitting with as far as like, this is a guy where all the female sort of affirmation or like the feminine replies on this video feed, the one I just did yesterday about enlightened man, are all like, you know, just holding space for you, sending you a hug, lots of love. Like they get it. It's like, I'm aware that I've been triggered. I'm aware that it's a reactive pattern, but there's a guy that's got to tell me. There's one message here about like, this is why you're processing and this is why you're feeling. I'm like, yeah, I know. I wrote a book about it. Yeah, I'm aware of the fact that I'm processing and transforming some fucking dense, shitty energy. But then I love at the end, especially because I'm like, at the end of the video, I'm like, blatantly say like, I'm triggered and I'm processing and I'm healing these karmic wounds, but he feels the need to tell me what I'm doing. And then this is the bit that really got me of like, and then one day you'll find yourself at a ceremony where you can to thank all of these people for triggering you and teaching you. I'm like, yeah, I wrote a book about the process and I'm already in a place of love and forgiveness and thanks. I am super duper thankful for all the men in my life who've treated me like shit and triggered me and loved me and supported me. You know, like, I'm not making these videos to have more people tell me what to do. If anything, that's the whole point of me sharing this stuff is I'm like, guys, why are we telling each other what to do? Because we're all sovereign. We're sovereign creators. And are you really getting married? Because hold on, I'm not seeing an email from you, Serge, my friend. Hey, and see, Maz, you're like one of the chicas who just like, you can feel the support. And then plus I briefly touched into your video as well about like us like wanting to crawl out of our skin, and at the same time like how therapeutic this platform is for like our ability just to like share whatever we want. And like, again, this is just based, I'm an academic. I studied women's studies. I'm not a fucking idiot. This stuff isn't coming out of nowhere. And historically speaking, women are the one who've been persecuted, damn near wiped out, you know, burned at the stake, totally fucking demonized. And then what we're living through now is this reawakening where women are like, hold on, we're not slaves to some patriarchal structure. Men really shouldn't be dominating us and telling us what to think because we're capable of thinking for ourselves. And all of this fucking spiritual shit, I'm really getting tired of like man being awakened and I don't know, I don't see the same female representation. And often what's brutal is that like for us women to be seen as like teachers or gurus, we have to be a little bit more man-like. It's like women in politics, and this is changing. I can see the changes happening. I can see why. We know it's all happening, right? But like women around the world in politics for ages as well. They had to be like men. Basically, we've had to, as a collective, for whatever reason, deny the love, which is denying like the divine mystery, the feminine void, the intuition, and now we're reclaiming it. But what I'm seeing is still like multi-layered revolutionary layers of backlash. And this is, again, this is talked about in feminist theory as like a real thing, just like even in, I'm gonna show your thing, someone else's opinion. Fuck yeah. Right? Like who, like, it's just like, I don't want to tell people what to do. I want people to believe in themselves and do what they want to do. And what we have to realize is like this whole owning of our emotions, which I'm getting fucking tired of, especially it's man saying, like this is life and keep feeling your feelings. Yeah, I know. I've been doing it all along, and I wrote a fucking book about it because systematically what I see is people not doing it and then making me out to be some crazy person for feeling all this deep pain when I'm sorry, I look around at the world and I see some fucking pain. I see some fucking disparity. I see a lot of poverty and trash and issues that like get me so deep that I've never been able to fit into some fucking blind systematic veil because it hurts my heart and I end up on a path of self-destruction, right? Thanks. Thank you, Maz 2018. Girlfriend. I'm trying to think as well. I'm trying to place your accent. When I watch your videos, you're in the UK, yeah? And it's a northern accent, I want to say, but it's not Liverpool, Sheffield. I was thinking like Huddersfield and like that kind of neck of the woods. So whoop whoop. How is it up there? Have you got some community, or are you also endeavoring this kind of quite withdrawn and solitary journey of awakening? Yeah, this long-winded fucking comment about this is why you're feeling this and this is why you're da-da-da and da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And like it honestly fucking, and I can feel like almost wanting to cry right now. I'm like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but I'm still hurt and I still need to process. And I'm tired of using words and like spiritual mumbo jumbo talk to cover up this pain and wounding that we're all facing. And no, and be in your power. And one day, and when you least expect it, you will do a Oponopono ceremony to thank these characters. I've already thanked them, Miguel. I'm in love with all of humanity. The reason I do the work that I do is because I'm aware that if there's energy inside me that's coming up, that is divisive, that is painful, that is attacking, that I have to heal. Because the truth is that I have compassion for humanity. But what I'm really, really tired of is men segregating themselves and pretending to be higher than fucking thou, and white supremacy, privilege, entitlement, white supremacy. It's sick. It's insane. And I see it happening in this kind of revolutionary way in our spiritual communities where men, instead of fucking meeting me, they run away from me, deny me, reject me, make me out to be some crazy person, and then they publish a book about their fucking cocks. And that, like, that is an actual thing that happened where, Maz, I'm sending you some megalove.com. Sergio, you're a divine man. Don't you... And the thing is, you guys, I would never, like, my intention here, I would never want to, like, offend people and make people feel bad about themselves. Like, my whole life, I've literally just been like, I love humanity. Like, I love, okay, good. Nice one. I know you don't, you're just, the face is like, but it's probably the same. Cause like, the thing is, the stuff I talk about, men also relate to, right? I'm talking about really subtle energy here about how we kind of dominate each other. And I do it too, which is why I put it out there, is because I'm an arrogant, egotistical human, just like everybody else. But my heart has always been like, guys, we can do better than this. And a big piece of doing better is just sitting and feeling our own emotions and not fucking going around telling each other what else can I do for you? You gal, like, what? Oh, okay, I'll have a ceremony. Like, I don't know how to perform my own ceremony. Like, I have to give my power to the Oponopono or to some other, like, yeah, keep feeling. You're one step closer to truth. Thank you. Well, now that you have told me that I'm doing a good job, now I can feel good. And like he's thinking that's a positive thing. That's just fucking pissing me off. Because if you watch the whole video at the end, Miguel, you would hear what I said at the end of that video was that I don't need you to tell me, who I need to forgive or what ceremony or what healer or whatever the fuck. I don't need you to tell me what I need to do to improve myself because my feelings are allowed to be there. And sorry if historically speaking, I'm a little bit fucking pissed off at how cruel a lot of men have been in this world in dominating the world. Hey, Kurt Mill, what? Dude, I'm on a tangent from yesterday because I got triggered. And the weird thing is, you guys, just wanting to say, I feel like there was a little bit of like misinterpretation with that video because there was two like polarities. One was like, again, some just like random troll type person making that comment about like, you're sexy, but you're just too weird. So that hit me, but I wasn't actually really deeply triggered because like I get the whole troll thing, right? What triggered me was like this new kind of collective on Facebook of like white privileged men. And then they're commenting like, we're feeling our feelings. Yay, we're awakened. And I'm like, wow. So you're an enlightened, awakened man for feeling your feelings, but women like me are still being called sexy and hysterical. And so I'm seeing this disparity, and thank God for you guys. Like seriously, thank God for some of your guys' insight. And also your affirmation of the fact that you feel it, because like that is part of why I do this stuff, is like I get embarrassed and triggered by the shit that I share anyway. But when you guys are like, oh my God, I feel this, or like I laughed and cried the whole way through, I'm like, okay, good. So there is purpose. There is value in me sharing that fucking honestly and brutally. At the same time, I have to ground in to like not take on the shit and the rejection of others. So part of this is like, again, the few male comments here are basically one guy defending himself, like, I feel my feelings and I share them. It might sound weird, but men's rejection is protection. I'm aware, but historically speaking, it's supposed to be men who protect us women, not running away from something which you don't understand. And this is where, again, it's hard for people. They look at me and they objectify me because that's how men are programmed. And men awakening to their feelings is part and parcel of them probably getting rejected by women, or women making choices to be with different men, and then them. And here's another thing. I'm super duper ranting, you guys, but like yesterday, right after all this kerfuffle, I went onto Facebook and I saw a post from a dude, again, an enlightened or like an awakened guy, saying, girl, like women, stop going for toxic men. Stop loving narcissistic men or men with money. Like realize it. And I fucking unfollowed and unfriended right away because I was like, this is not what we need. Dude, I'm not consciously going around being like, oh my God, that narcissistic dickhead. Yeah, I'm going to love him big time. No, you fall in love and then boom, 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 boom. You're down the trail. You're repeating a pattern. And then you have to learn a whole bunch of crazy shit. So like, and then the other thing that I was feeling was like, hold on, what is this message really? This guy telling women who not to go for, that we should smarten up. We need to smarten up and stop falling in love with fucking dickheads, right? So I'm feeling into this post and I'm thinking, this isn't about us, dude. You've been rejected. This guy has been dumped. And instead of being vulnerable and honest and real and saying, I'm hurting, I'm being rejected by the feminine right now, and it's breaking my fucking heart, and I'm seeing all these women going around with all of these dicks, and it's breaking me because the women I love aren't coming to me for whatever reason. Maybe I'm poor. Maybe I'm insecure. Maybe I've got some shit going on. No, instead, he needs to put a post telling us what we need to stop doing, you know? Yes, yes. Thank you, Kurt Mel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think this is like the beauty of having you guys here to keep me rooted and accountable, is that you're so right. You're so right. This is not about gender anymore. I'm just talking about privilege and oppression. You know, I'm talking about people being dicky to one another and like telling each other what to do rather than just sitting with their own shit and feeling it out and going, wow, I'm rejected. I'm dejected. Or I've been fucking abandoned over and over again, and I have to feel this shit. And I have to stop making it women's problem or man's problem. I don't, me doing these rants isn't making it your guys' problem. Me doing these rants is sharing with you my process of I sit with this and I work it out and I see my false projection and I see my fucking patriarchal patterns that are deeply, deeply, deeply painful. And I'm somebody who is sitting with the energy of it and reprogramming my mind. I'm reprogramming my mind so that we can see a world where there isn't a systematic oppression. And yet part of it is, again, me seeing these convoluted layers of so-called conscious men once again segregating themselves. And why my intuition is because they're not able to face us yet. They're not able to just hold space for the wounding that we feel based on the systematic oppression of thousands and thousands of years, right? Oh, thank you, Kurt Mill. Oh, see, that just hit me. That makes me want to cry a little bit. So Kurt just said, I also think it's important that compassion and healing is not just about pleasing. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. Because like, I think that's a big part of why I've had to like withdraw and kind of like so much come back to myself, because I can love myself and I have so much compassion for people, but I've also been in a world that kind of taught me to please people. And because I've been in those people-pleasing tendencies, I've ended up in really abusive, toxic patterns with people who lie to me and manipulate me and use me and sexualize me and objectify me behind my back and then like la 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 la. And I've had to withdraw. And these are so-called spiritual people, right? These are so-called like enlightened, spiritual, awakened people. And then behind my back, they're like perving on me, or behind my back, or they're pretending this and then they're doing that, you know, like. So I'm just coming back to myself and compassion, like self. I just need compassion for myself because I'm like just as love light vibration as I am like corrupted, fucked up human with everybody else, you know? All to love, Sergio. Ooh, Serge, I'm like really excited to see and also to get to see you again properly and have some like fun times, basically. Woohoo! You guys, I just got totally distracted there. One thing I'm reminded of is that healing can only truly happen when you see everything there is to see. Yeah, and I agree with that. And I also like, it's continuous, isn't it? It's like this continual like evolutionary recycling, flowering, birthing, destroying. There's just this constant ebb and flow, and there's no like this is like non-duality, right? Like there's no right or wrong. I'm just aware of like the heightened energy sensitivity and how like you can feel even in people's comments, like people comment something and I know that there's a part of them that feels like it's like a really positive thing or they're coming from a good intention, but all I feel is like this sort of supremacy, this sort of like shh, or like they need to tell me, like I don't know. Like, just tell me how I can be for you, please, because that's my only fucking purpose. I couldn't possibly know what I'm doing transforming these patterns. I couldn't possibly know what I'm doing having inner ritual and ceremony to clear myself of fucking karma and to awaken to a new reality. No, I didn't write a book about it at all. Wow. But you telling me on my YouTube video makes it all clear. Sorry, can you see how triggery I am? Well, everything one can see within the context they know. Once one is introduced to a new context, there's always more to see. Yeah. And you guys, massive thank you. I actually said a thank you on Instagram because increasingly, like, you guys like are a really powerful and important community for me. And like when I see your comments and your reflections, I feel like smarter, and I feel I feel like more rooted in myself because I'm open to like feeling and hearing, but it feels like a dialogue. It feels like a real dialogue with the majority of you who comment here. Like it feels like you're not trying to like silence me. It feels like you're not trying to like yeah, all to love vibration. Exactly, the best guru ever, just telling everyone else to be their own guru because I don't I don't wanna control people, right? Yeah, Kurt Mill, you do. You guys, like, just the years and the months that have shifted, I'm like because it's empowering me to be who I am, versus, like, my past cycles where people denied me and silenced me and are, like, fucking chopped my head off for being a goddess, basically. And this is something else, is like all of our sexual intuitive gifts are coming back. And that's a big one. That's a big one because that's another big taboo in our culture, right? And we have loads of trauma around our sex organs and stuff. Girlfriend, I love you. Hey, Pepe. Woo! Sunshine, bliss, and peace signs. Maz, I appreciate that. Like, I think so. I dig me. I do. Like, this is the thing. Like, I've had 2 days where I've barely left my apartment, been sleeping and eating loads, and, like, just been, like, gooey in my, well, you guys know, yesterday I freaking bawled and, like, waves of just intense tears most of the day. And then this morning I've just been like, because I even saw this other group, this awakened, I think it's just called like Awake, and like somebody I kind of was into for a bit, and then now is teaming up in the brotherhood, and men have the capacity for leadership, and men this and men that, and I'm just getting triggered, and you know that I love you guys, but these awakened men getting into groups of men, and I'm like, nah, like, this is the whole thing. Like, yes, we need more compassionate leadership, but for me personally, I would like to see more women as leaders. Like, I'm kind of like, yeah, men, this is man's world. Men are leaders of the world. This is kind of the fucking reality that we've been born into, this thing we call the patriarchy. And then we have so-called spiritually awakened men going, we need to come together as men and heal and become leaders. And I'm like, and I do, and I get that. And I don't deny that they're doing amazing work and like that they will birth more conscious men. But I'm like, I actually think women need to be a part of those circles. If anything, part of our fucked up, corrupted world is dominantly men getting together and like deciding what's fucking best for everybody. And there's no feminine representation whatsoever. We've not been allowed in those circles. We've not been allowed in spiritual Indian circles. It's all fucking been male dominated. So somehow we have to collectively be embracing women's voices. And like, this is an example of like me speaking my voice and men telling me that I need more healing. Really? I'm pretty sure I'm fucking aware of that. That's why I'm sharing and exposing this shit, because I could, just like lots of other fucking gurus, go around and pretend like I got my shit together and I am holier than fucking thou. But in my opinion, I don't think any of us as humans, like true blood and flesh and spirit humans, we're not better than one another. And in the true spiritual sense, I can't control you and I don't want to. I only want you to unlock your creative potential and be who you're here to be. Kind of like what I'm discovering from within myself. All this speaking mumbo jumbo. All this sharing really authentically. Look, guys, I even put fucking jeans on for you today. Because I figure you deserve full dress attire. Oh, and I got this. Lovers. But then the haters. There was a time when I just wanted it to be just lovers, you guys. And I don't know where this top is from, a charity shop, FYI. And so there's like the lovers, and then now my new reality is haters. It's like once you shine your light and put yourself out there, just be ready for people to come at you and attack you in various ways, even glossing it over with love light brigade language, right? Hey, AA, Kurt Mill, you're like, I love your insights when you talk about astrology. So are you an astrologer, or do you just really like study lots of that stuff? Because much more urge to be more than you have. Yes, because I feel much more alive and revitalized than ever now. It's like all the pain I went through before is being unearthed. Kurt Mill, like literally that's the nature of conversations with my spiritual teacher and also like some of my closest inner circle. And this is what I've talked about before, is that I actually feel like on an incarnation level, we've reached a milestone that we never is as bodies. Like some of us maybe have incarnated here 6-7 rounds, right? Something like that. And that we've never, like, this is something I'm aware of intuitively. I have this knowing that, like, I haven't incarnated on earth loads. Like, people talk about old soul, new soul. To me, time is infinite. So there's no real idea of an old soul or new soul. We're just either, we have different kind of energetic imprints on this planet on a timeline. So like, it's just a hobby for me. I love the research. That's one of the things I've studied a lot. Nice. Yeah. I want to get into it for sure. So going back, you said about like, I feel much more alive and revitalized. It's for me, I have this awareness of like, so 26, 13, 6.5, 2, we've had all these different patterns, these cumulative karmic ancestral, patterns, which we've like come to, that closure. So on like the Earth Akashic record basically is closing down a certain timeline or a certain repeated cycle. We've learned enough, we've integrated enough, and now we're rising. So this whole feeling of like we're feeling more alive, more revitalized, it's this is the whole point. A lot of us incarnated, i.e. those of us having this conversation where we somehow intuitively like understand one another, even though we've never met, we've not necessarily grew up in the same part of the world, but internet is helping us bridge. And some of us, depending on our signature frequency, the only reason we came to Earth was for this awakening. And we've had a couple or a few lifetimes to like learn about density, learn about separation, so that we can continue the awakening. For Earthlings who are more, there are Earthlings and beings who have their origins here. That's something, again, I don't know how I understand or know these things. I just do intuitively. So like, there are beings who are just Earthlings. It's like the hobbits, is that right? Hobbits or the Shire? Yeah. And then there's the Gandalf and the Argon and the Elven communities and we have all these different dimensional realities, right? And so some of us are not necessarily Earthlings in that way. We're beings who come from different star systems. We're beings who come from different galactic portals. Like that, I actually have memory. I have physical, tangible, and visceral, imaginative memory of my space travels, of galactic wars, and driving spaceships, and moving through fucking wormholes, and like all of that kind of shit. I'm like, that's real. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more at some point, you guys. To see the past, present, and future solutions. So I totally feel you. There's an absolute paradigm shift. Absolutely. Without a shadow of doubt, right? We're here, we're in it, we are actually the ones moving through it in our portal, in our physical dimension, right? We're doing it through the body. And that's something you guys don't know, but like some of you guys know, but some of you don't know, is like part of my whole journey is like vanity of like, I hated myself and hated my body, and I could never really be happy and joyful because I just hated my body so much. And then a big part of my transformation was like loving myself. And then body shows up. It's like, woohoo, I love you. Oh my God, it's sexy and lovely and wonderful. And I love living in this body now. And that's true. And so for me, a big part of like the gateway portal is like, we see these issues on the physical plane, like everyone's bodies are sick or obese or And it's like, guys, you can totally transform your vessel from within your own consciousness, but it requires a lot of diligent work, i.e., emotions, like the amount of emotional trauma that I have healed and continue to heal. And that was my past phase of suffering. Now my body shows up how I want it to. And then my next level was romance and money, right? So my next level of transforming patterns, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys. I'm transforming my patterns around the opposite sex. I'm transforming deep, hurty patterns around male domination and female oppression. And then I'm also transforming any kind of blocks I have around me accumulating loads of wealth for you guys. Cause I don't want it for myself really, except I do, but like, I want to share it all. What do you think is the next step of this paradigm shift for humanity in general? So straight up, it's like the economy collapsing, and then shape-shifting different currencies, and us just continuing the conversation. What do you think is the next step of this paradigm shift? Yeah, global economy collapse is a huge part of the greater shift. And then natural disasters, which we're already seeing all over, right? So the natural disasters, the Earth's shape-shifting. So you say paradigm shift. So there's an actual pole axis shift as well. There's a magnetic, this is all like scientific and stuff. And I don't know how to know it, but there's like a magnetic pole shift happening on the Earth's like atmosphere and in connection to the entire solar system and the galaxy. So the Earth herself is actually like shifting. That's part of us having this paradigm shift, is that it's all reversing back on itself, so that we're birthing, but we've already birthed the new reality. In essence, it's already in our consciousness. Now we're just having to walk the path, which we're doing. Have you heard of DMT? AA? Yeah, I have. I've not done DMT, but I had an ayahuasca ceremony last summer, which, if you scroll through my videos, I do talk about my ayahuasca experience. It's good. It's profound. I don't really like stay hooked on stuff like that, though. Please talk about this more. I'm having blockages on the galactic ties. I feel it'll be a big piece for me to accept for some. It is. Aware of past, even Atlantis matters, but nothing off planet. Oh, MJ, that sort of reminds me of something. What? Yeah, Maz, I clearly, like, this is all meant to happen, as you guys know. This is always meant to be. But this has been coming through for me a couple times, like, for me to talk more about cosmic origins and, like, reclaiming the memory, in that sometimes we'll come across people that can help us actually unblock the blocks. So, because oftentimes the blockages are actually like etheric entity attachments, which sounds weird and could potentially be disempowering and fearful. It's not. Girlfriend, this is legit. We should hop on a call, because you did a share about this being uncomfortable in your own skin, and that was my breakthrough. Me always hopping up against the uncomfortableness of my own skin, and then I was led to work with some healers and then do some energy work courses, which started to unlock the galactic portal and shed. It started to unblock all of that, because there's entities and shit around and in our etheric bodies that are actually, that's why we're like, I'm not at home here, because we don't own our bodies, especially women. We've come into this earth realm under the patriarchal structure as slaves to that structure. We're here, our bodies are enslaved to the patriarchy to keep breeding so that they can keep harnessing the energy. And again, it's still an aspect of our own unconscious, disempowered aspect, but for us to fully integrate it, we need to disentangle those threads. We need to clear our bodies of those entities and continue the clearing and the healing on the emotional level. I dreamt about being bitten by snakes last night, but I fought them, but well done. What's the Draconians? Yes, let me know how to hook up with you. Oh, there's a few more days, Chica. Jump on a 30-minute free call with me, and then we can talk. meetme.so/Alta Love. I think I've got some space left. I know I do. It's not like I'm... Well, I don't agree with you on everything, but you're interesting as fuck. Thanks, AA. I don't agree with you either. And this is my whole point of sharing the message. Like, I don't think we're all meant to sit around and sing Kumbaya together. I'm not interested in, like, being pally pal, buddy buddy with everybody. I'm like, I just want to be free. And I think you want to be free too. And that's how we can get along, right? Just let's all just let each other be free and, like, hold space for each other. And, like, watch and learn and deduce and be challenged. And that's something I used to think I just had to agree with everybody, because I wanted everybody to like me, because if they didn't like me, I might not survive in this world. I might not be able to, get ahead or literally survive. And that's part of a condition of female oppression, is that we're still having to clear out that fucking backlog of women not being able to work, women needing men to actually literally survive and pay for food and buy stuff, right? So we're having to step into that. That's all right. Are you a Scientologist? No, I don't align with any systematized ideology. I believe in sovereignty. I believe that every human beingness is a vessel of sovereign divine power. As soon as we start to sort of organize, then there's a group mentality, and then often there's a construct of domination and control. Which is why I don't really believe in kind of like organizing religion. I believe in movements. I believe in empowering movements that help people be more free. I believe in freedom, really. Like, the truth is, I believe in sovereignty and freedom for each and every human being. But within that sovereignty and freedom, as individuated aspects of consciousness, what we understand is that we are unified in that freedom. We are unified in that sovereignty. Hence why we allow and we have respect, ultimate fucking divine respect for one another. And yet we recognize each individual's divine choices. What else is here? Maybe if we have already birthed shift, we learn how to walk and get along. I want to read that Kurt Mill, have birthed this shift, then the next step is kind of like a collective childhood and child. We learn how to, oh my God, nice insight, dude. And understand our sexuality and gender too. Yes. I really appreciate that, Kurt Mill. Like, and I'm feeling that way because I've been having those reminiscent feelings a lot anyway of like, I know I'm technically an adult, but like weirdly after doing all this healing and transforming, I feel like a kid again. Like, I feel like I just like, pardon me. I feel like I just like inhabit my body and like run around and like, hey, ooh, and this is me kind of like, hey guys, want to play? Want to play and not be mean to each other? Want to play and not use each other? Want to play and not like, you know, lie to get stuff and then reject and abandon? Like, that's something as well where I'm about, like, I'm not about denying you guys. I just want to like be friends, but I don't want people to control me. And that's where I've like burned bridges with friends in the past, is that in the end, they just want to like control me, or I make a change and they're like, how dare you change? And I'm like, but I have to be free. And they're like, I can't support you when you're free. I can only support you when you act like this, or when you do this for a job, or when you blah, blah, blah. And in fairness, that's how been happening in some yoga communities. Yoga, spiritual, right? But like some yoga people were like, can you come and do yoga but not talk about the crazy stuff? I'm like, that's fucking censorship, yo. And that's in our so-called enlightened, you know, yoga communities. Innocence. Oh, you guys. AA, where are you from in the world? So I'm a Canadian gal. I was born and raised in Canada, small town Canadian chica. And I moved, so I had spiritual awakenings when I was 19, which fucked me up. And I decided to buy a one-way ticket to England. And I've been in England pretty much ever since. I'm well-traveled. I've been to India. I go to Indonesia most years. I wrote my book in Indonesia. I do very much consider myself a global citizen, but intuitively on this guided spiritual path, for whatever reason, I'm in the UK. Energetically, what I feel about the UK is that it's probably one of the deepest, densest places on the world. And yet it's the heart of humanity. So we're having this awakening. We're having to reawaken the heart of humanity, which a lot of the heart earth energy is actually here on this continent. And yet what is also here on this continent is a very powerful energetic stream of divide and conquer. So the Brits have kind of a tricky navigation here, because they're trained in this kind of covert way that they're the best, that they're the conquerors, right? They're the best people in the world. And so now that we're all having to break down, it's really difficult for people here to face the changes that need to happen, because they've been thinking they're better than everybody else all along. And I'm not saying this is a diss. This is just my like intuitive senses and awareness. And now they're going to have to break down and be humble. Damn, that's a hard pill to swallow, right? But c'est la vie. Yo, MJ, the UK around Stonehenge is where the Earth's heart chakra. Yeah. Nice one. See, you guys just fill in the gaps, which is perfect. Can I ask a question without getting blocked? But your opinion. Okay. Be mindful. I could block your arse because I'm getting a little bit annoyed with people telling me my fucking tits are nice or some shit. Yeah, I'm weirdly, but not, Kurt Mill. So Stonehenge, and like over this whole last year, I commute back and forth. Like I literally, my energy flow is like moving, and this is earthwork, right? So I'm traveling very regularly between the southwest and the southeast of the UK, which means I'm traversing that grid, that ley line, week by week, day by day. And I just, again, somehow I know intuitively that as a kind of earth worker, light worker, divine worker, it's like the energy flow that we're anchoring in is like uprooting these false ley line grids that are blocking the actual heart, right? And so here we are. We're gonna be up leveling that anyway. 6 chakra moves around the world right now. It's by the 4 chakra too. Oh really? What's the 6? So that's 6. See, I've been getting massive. Is that right? Yeah, 5, 6. And I've been getting massive. I don't know if you guys ever want, but like the intuition is saying that we can meditate here, and then our sacral. So like right down here where our sexual organs are. So we're unifying like the sexbus with the heart and then with the vision of the third eye, big hotspots where I'm up here too, megalithic sites, Sheffield. So maybe, I don't know, like, well, either way, what we do know is like we're in vortexual areas, which we're meant to be in. Our energy has to be there, right? Peak District, ah, super lovely. Yeah. See, we are where we need to be. If you ever want to come down to Devon and have a house swap, my apartment's really cold, but I'm away in Indonesia, so you'd be welcome to come in. Stay in Devon in a cold apartment if you want to. Somebody asked me something. I'm curious what your opinion on Trump is. I don't have much of an opinion about a lot of like political leaders and stuff like that, because I think in a sad way, like I think a lot of politics and people of the world are just blind and kind of corrupted and kind of victims of their own unconscious wounds. Like in a weird way, like I kind of have a lot of compassion for Trump because I see him as like this, I often actually see through the veil and like see him as just this kind of like little 5-year-old boy who's like, I'm the king of the castle, see everyone, look at me, I'm the king of the castle. And like he doesn't have much awareness. And that's where I'm like, I feel sad for America right now, because I feel like America is like the American dream and all the glamour of like how we were sold about America is like now twisting into itself. And America as a nation is like becoming a caricature of itself. It's like becoming a cartoon mock of its own self. And like, we're starting to see through the veil. And like, there's no higher than thou judginess about that, because the UK is right next to it. The UK with that May woman. She's a woman. But like, this is what I mean about the Margaret Thatchers and a lot of the female representation as leadership in the world. To me, it's not like they embody femininity. They still embody the kind of distorted masculinity because they're totally rooted in the 3D old paradigm construct, right? This stuff that I'm talking about, in my opinion, is like next level. It's like the old world is already dead, and then we're like clean slate. Now it's like, now what? How do we build a better world? Okay, let's distribute resources more harmoniously. Let's make energy free, because everyone who descends here and is here on this planet, we deserve to be here. We deserve to be fed, clothed, housed, and have water, clean water. Every single one of us. I don't understand the disparity of the boundaries, the walls, and the rules that make it so that just a few people get to live really well and everybody else has to be slave to those people. That makes fucking no sense whatsoever. So the more people that awaken to that will be like, wait a minute, hey, fuck you guys, actually, but with love heart my brush. Like, I don't want to make you feel bad, but actually you could share. And if they're not going to share, then do you like this face, you guys? Do you like this face? Resonate with that. Absolute jokes running there. It is, but bad female role. Yeah, they're not like feminine. They're not compassionate. I much prefer like Marianne Williamson running for president of America. I'm like, you go, girlfriend, because this is a woman who talks about spirituality and love in a very similar way that we do, right? I'm in Vancouver next week. John Beatty. Are there any cool spiritual sites? Well, somebody mentioned DMT earlier. If you visit UBC, the campus, that's where I had my awakenings, around the coast of the UBC campus. And just for a little bit of fun, there's a place called Wreck Beach, which is a nudist beach. And you can go down there and find anything you like, including naked people, except it's wintertime, so you might not. But it's very beautiful. You have to walk down loads of stairs, but then you get to this gorgeous beach, and then you can walk up, amazing views. Plus UBC, that part of the campus is quite nice. So you could like go to the botanical gardens and all of that. As far as I don't know. Hey, Rochelle. I totally read. Heart chakra's in the UK. Root is in the US. Ugh, that's making me feel something like, okay, so the lids are exploding in both at the same time. The root, the heart. Where is this one? Or did somebody say that one moves around? The earth, the third eye one. You can see the chakra locations at foreverconscious.com. Thank you, Kurt Mel. Root is in it. Oh, okay, nice one. Thank you. Antarctic. Sacral's in Bolivia. Oh, root chakra, my bad. Yeah, that's like lower, and then the sacral's in Bolivia. Bolivia keeps coming up as well. I feel like there might be some is there some kind of pyramid or like, because this is another thing. Okay, we have the economic collapse, but like at the same time, it's like, yes, there, Sergio, it was you. You were in Bolivia right now, Lake Titicaca, and then you mentioned it, right? I'm gonna look at this anyway, you guys. The route, Mount Shasta, trust me. That's the route, but the sacral's in Bolivia. Hearts in the UK. Solar powers in Australia. Oof. Sacral Titicaca, that's it. Wow. You guys are legends. I love how much you know all of this. I need to smoke to get out of me. I'm also a plant-based, although like I love being clear. I love like my sober life, but then I also love having a joint. I love like I had my ayahuasca experience last. I'm really I'm not like, I don't want to like push drugs on people, but I'm very much an advocate of plant medicine. So like I really am somebody who, as you continue to watch me and grow with me, I am somebody who's like into that. I'm quite into kind of in a safe and sacred way, enjoying altered states of consciousness through plants that Earth was like, hey guys, try this and see what happens. And you're like, whoa, it enhances our experience. And plus the propaganda of old paradigm media agenda was like, it's bad and it's going to kill you. Why? Because it expands people's portals of consciousness and it makes them more powerful and less easy to control. So us reclaiming our freedom and power, to me, is a big part of congregating and trying plants and psychedelics and help using those as a way to help us reattune to our nature, right? That's the whole point of it. It's like marijuana or plant, like I don't think cannabis is bad. I'm like, I don't even think anything is bad necessarily. I just think if our point of attraction, if like you think it's really bad, it's going to be fucking bad. It's like people who are really scared of cannabis, they end up getting anxiety and paranoia and da-da-da. But then those are people who have those tendencies already, right? And so I wouldn't recommend. I'm like, if you don't align with alcohol, if you don't align with this stuff, don't do it. Mwah! Good night, Sergio. I'm looking forward to checking my message. I'm so happy for you and your loved one and your beloved. I can't wait to kind of like hang out and party with you both at the wedding. Guys, I actually think that's it for me too. All to love. I'm all to love, right, Rochelle? Rochelle's we talk and like Rochelle keeps, you know how I say I'm MJ from All to Love, and you keep saying, don't say you're not from All to Love, you are All to Love. And I'm like, girlfriend, I know. I just gotta keep practicing that. I think I'm addicted to you. Subscribe. Yeah, okay, so that's it, you guys. Maz, book a call. Some of y'all have already booked a call, and I'm looking forward to talk to you. Bro moves currently in the UK. Crown is in Tibet. Anyway, I'm gonna look through these probably a little bit more clearly because some of them I think I might have missed. Trees are the gossipers, you shall. There is that. There is a communication happening between them. Anywho, yeah, rest well, Serge. AA, thank you. I think you're new. I think I'm just seeing you for the first time. Thank you for your engagement. All of you, thank you for your comments and this conversation. I feel so supported and loved by you guys. It's insane, especially after yesterday being like, oh, and now I'm just all like fired up and I'm like, it's okay to be me. Okay, you guys, nice one. So, night. Sleep well. I love you all. Mega heart love. Vibration all over your face. I'm MJ. I'm all to love. And me too, right? Love you guys. Make sure to book a call. It's now till I think Saturday or Sunday. I'm taking these calls and then I'm just carrying on like this. And all of that. Subscribe, share. I love you so much. And I'm super duper thankful for you guys. Have an awesome day. We're all pretty early risers, aren't we? Or actually it's late for you, isn't it, Serge? I love you guys. Have an awesome day.